Hello, YouTube. Today's the day in the year of 2021 when the world seems to not be off to a great start so far. It's as good a time as any to remember one of the best consoles of all time by getting an OG first revision GameCube and seeing what the 6th gen console underdogs like to use now. And yeah, as always, you can just use an emulator too, but old hardware is just fun. I hate calling the GameCube old, by the way. It makes me feel old. Like, damn, I'm 22 years old, and at that age, G.G. Allen recorded One-Man Army with the Jabbers. What am I doing with my life? Is 22 too old to learn guitar and become a punk icon? Well, I won't be answering that question here. I'll be instead answering the question that nobody asked, and that's how to play some GameCube games on original hardware. Well, as with my last piece of retro tech, we need some way to power the thing, get the video and audio out of the thing, and some way to get games onto the thing. Obviously, these are pretty simple things since it's not some computer from the 1980s, so I won't bore you with the minutia. For the video and audio, I'm just using composite on the same monitor I used last time, the Dell 2001 FP. I know composite is for plebs. I don't have money yet to dive into a rabbit hole head first of video outputs, but if you do, one of my favorite resources for it is My Life in Gaming. I love it. Anywho, so we need to get games onto the thing, and we could just buy games. As the PSA goes, you wouldn't steal a car. Except I would if I could 100% get away with it, and I'm sure most people would, hence why the law. So sailing the high seas it is. And really, it's not like the devs would get any money anyway, since I just have to buy secondhand. But I think I'd like to own a couple of my favorites someday. Well, till then. My favorites in homebrew will come via Action Replay. Yeah, you heard that right. This fine old piece of cheatware has a real neat trick up its sleeve. A trick through which we won't need any hardware modding, or soldering, or save gaming exploits, or other consoles entirely. Apart from the Action Replay disc, we need a couple other things. First is the other thing that comes with the SD Media Launcher kit, where I got the Action Replay disc from in the first place. If your goal is to load homebrew and games, I highly recommend it. So first, we got a GameCube memory card with a microSD slot in it, effectively an adapter. Apparently some very old ones used to come with a full-sized SD card slot, but I ordered straight from Dell and this one does not, so your mileage may vary. Next, we need the microSD card to slot into it, and here's where it gets a little bit tricky. See, the microSD card needs to be under 2 GB for it to be read by the Action Replay software. Not that big of an issue back in GameCube's heyday, but certainly a little bit more difficult now. I've tried popping down to local electronics stores and off licenses and corner stores or whatever you want to call them, and I couldn't find any such thing. However, 32 GB seems to be the lowest you can get, but on eBay I found a bunch that were 2 GB and even smaller, so thanks to eBay I was able to acquire one. Next, we're gonna need another microSD card, but this time any size will do just fine. Mine is a 32 GB one. Next, we're gonna need a normal GameCube memory card, you know, the kind that you save your save games to it. So we needed to save our progress in games, since we can't store it to the SD Media Launcher thingy. There are plenty on eBay to choose from. I got this 16 MB card, which should be fine. Next, we need some software. You're gonna wanna find a download for Swiss and put it on your 2 GB microSD card. Little side note here, the microSD card for whatever reason wouldn't read through my SD card USB-C reader on my PC. I know it functions perfectly, that's how I transfer footage off my camera for editing, but it must be that it's just too low capacity or outdated or dodgy in some other way. So yeah. I used the SD card slot on my ThinkPad instead, and it worked fine. You're gonna want to grab your other microSD card and also copy the software there just in case. Now load up this micro SD card with games and homebrew to your heart's content. Bear in mind that if you like me and you have a monitor that only supports 50 Hz over composite, you'll want PAL games that run at the appropriate refresh rate and resolution. I've tried to get NTSC region games to work, but they just display garbled. Finding torrents for those might be difficult, but keep looking and you'll find it. Or just use an HDMI converter, I don't know. Now, hook up your GameCube and put the Action Replay disc inside. Slot your 2GB micro SD card into SD media launcher adapter and put that in slot 2, since Action Replay can load off any slot. Put your normal memory card in slot 1 because some games don't like having it in slot 2 from what I've heard. Turn on your console and you'll be greeted to an SD launcher menu. From there, you'll want to select the .dol file of the Swiss software you loaded earlier. Once it loads, you can take the adapter out and swap the micro SD cards around and put it back in. Then, go to the Swiss menu and press reload. It looks like the eject button. You'll find it. And, you can see it on the video right now. Wait a couple seconds and voila! The game should appear in the list now, and hopefully it all just works. When downloading games, I realized just how much different Nintendo is now compared to how it used to be. No offense to Nintendo now. I think the fact that they make highly acclaimed games is, well, a matter of fact. But damn, Nintendo was cool. F-Zero, Wave Racers, and all those cross-platform games that actually worked better in GameCube than the PlayStation 2. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a great time playing some of these. Whoa, what happened there? We got some kind of bug going on. The game looks a little bit corrupted. Now, full disclosure here, I'm a PlayStation kid. My first console was technically a Famiclone, but after that, for me, it was always PlayStation. You had PlayStation 1 with Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Spider-Man, Oddworld, Silent Hill, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, R-Type Delta, and yeah, this wouldn't be a me video if I didn't mention that game. Still trying to formulate a video on that franchise. I love it too much to let it go like that. Then there's Gran Turismo, that Harry Potter game, Babby's first psychedelic experience, and Intelligent Cube. Then the PS2 comes out and it's like, whoa, Metal Gear Solid 2, Devil May Cry, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Enter the Matrix, Exit the Matrix, R-Type Final, Katamari Damacy, Sly Cooper, Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, God of War series, Tekken 5, SOCOM, Need for Speed, best 007 game since GoldenEye. To this day, best versions of the 3D era GTA games, and the best 3D era GTA game. And the games just won't stop coming. What's that? Mom said you have to go to bed because there's a math test tomorrow? Well, fuck math if you have a PSP for that Locoroco, or I don't know, dress up Hannah Montana or steal some cars. Let your creativity run wild, make platforming levels or racing tracks, pretend these are Pokemon, play MGS but with better gameplay, or check out some Japanese games like Persona 3, Danganronpa, or even Akiba Strip if you hit puberty early. Damn, it was a good time to be a PlayStation kid. Never have I ever thought that I was missing out. However, the thought that I didn't have the absolute best of consoles back during the 6th generation was never even part of what I was thinking. It was never on my mind. The fact that the PS2 outsold everything to me was like an absolute given fact of life, like Don Cheadle. However, it didn't stop me from looking over to the Nintendo side with a curiosity. It was a mysterious thing I saw people rave about oh so much on the old 2006 YouTube. See, where I grew up, Nintendo didn't have much reach before the Wii. Where in the US, you'd have your grandpa call a PSP a Game Boy. Where I grew up, it was the reverse. So my pleas for what my parents referred to as a second PSP fell on deaf ears. I was lucky to have a PS2 at all and not just some dusty old Pentium 4. It's not until I got old enough with emulation that I discovered Nintendo had some great games. My opinion of Nintendo quickly went from a PlayStation for the weird kids to a developer and publisher who I could respect and expect to deliver quality games and platforms with a whole library of GOAT contenders, like Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland, Donkey Kong Country, Kirby Superstar, Super Mario Bros. 3, Star Fox, Wave Race, Super Castlevania 4, Yoshi's Island, WarioWare Inc., Super Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime, Luigi's Mansion, Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, F-Zero GX, Twilight Princess, and even Kirby Air Ride, because I love Kirby, could you tell? And suddenly, now with the fact that the PS2 was the best-selling console by such a huge margin, became strange. So many good games came out on the Gamecube that it now seemed like, well, the PS2 most likely just sold because of its DVD player. So wow, this was one hell of a discovery journey, and I'm glad that you watched this and came along on that journey with me. I hope this was helpful. I hope my gushing wasn't too off topic at the end there. I thought I'd just give some of my personal thoughts on the matter. Is this something that you like? Me giving my personal thoughts and opinions? Or would it be better for just technical stuff? Leave it in the comments below and I'll make sure to read them. If you like this video, click like, hit subscribe. You know what the deal is. Yeah. Thanks for watching.